So Mark, last week I was meeting with one of my large contractors in Sacramento, and we were discussing QF header and how it's applicable to a lot of the projects that he does with drip line. Uh, my customer stated that he's never used it on a large project and that all the plans that he sees typically have PVC specified on the project. Now, with that, he said the PVC is typically 6, 8 inches below surface with a riser that goes up to the drip line that's the water is distributed out through. So I'd like to know, can we use QF header in a similar manner where we can use a riser, whether it's made of a poly product or, most likely it's a poly product. He said sometimes with PVC, it's PVC or poly, and get to the surface and run our drip line on the top like any other scenario.
That's a good question. That actually comes up a few times every year, and this is a great opportunity to show how we go about this. So what we'll do is go into our website. You can see on here, I know that you've looked at this many times, but you'll see here we've got our coil. Then you can see this picture. I think this is what you were talking about.
Yeah, so in that picture, the fitting is going horizontal. And I think what my customer, I actually have a diagram that he wrote here. You can kind of see where, the main or the header is here with a poly or a riser that goes up to the drip line that goes across. So how do we achieve that?
Yeah, no, it's good that you have a sketch. That really helps a lot. What we'll do is from here, we can go to our details. The details can be found online. You can download all the details, and that's what I've done. So let's go there and we'll take a look. Let's start with what we want to go with probably first is a PVC header. You can see right here, it says PVC header, and this is an end feed, and these are all the XFS CV. Now you could use this for other products that we have, but this was specifically designed for XFS CV. So these are handy for the designer and for the contractor to look at. Now with, you can see on an end feed with the PVC, it's very simple. Everything's PVC on this. Of course, this is labor intensive to do this with all the fittings, cutting these pieces the exact length, whether it's usually 12 or 18 inches on center. And then there's some extra fittings, there's Teflon tape, there's glue. So there's a lot going on there. Now you're looking at, and he's looking at maybe going to another option, which would be our QF header instead of the PVC header. You can see on here, these particular ones are on grade. Now, I like what he's talking about, burying the QF header and then coming up just like you would do with the PVC and the riser. Can you see that okay, or you want that a little bit larger?
Yeah, I can see that great.
Okay, so just one more click. And this is a detail that gives you an idea how that's done. So the QF header is actually turned on its side, comes straight up, and then there's a piece of blank drip line, and there's a fitting. Very simple. You want to keep this distance. You could keep it a few inches below, but actually most contractors are used to burying their header 12 inches below because it's just easier that way, and it keeps it away from somebody digging and hitting the QF header. So you keep it 12 inches below and go across the grade, or you can go under the grade. Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. So you can use this in a center feed scenario, or how does that work out?
I'm sorry, in what scenario?
In a center feed scenario.
Oh yes, you can. We do have detail with a center feed let's do center feed QF header. And here it is. And let's enlarge that just a little bit. You can see on here, the way this detail is laid out, when you do higher flow rates on a, let's say it's you need 1.25 1.5 inch pipe, then you want to go with PVC on the center feed. And then on the ends, which these are like exhaust headers, each end, those will be the QF header. Now for lower flow rates, for 1 inch or below, you can go with a 1 inch QF header, turn that on its side, come up and then tee off and go each direction. That works really well. So that's one way that you can do it. Most of the designers I'm finding, once they find out about this, they're switching to QF header. Also because there's less of the hard plastic PVC going into the ground versus flexible poly.
Gotcha.
Okay,
I think that pretty much answers the question. Thanks.
awesome. Thanks for having me. We'll see you at the next question.
You got it.
All right, talk to you later.